Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're watching 2 more episodes of the Apothecary Diaries. Please be very excited for episodes 6 and 7. It's good to sit down on a Saturday morning here, of course, with 2 new episodes ready for me. I'm excited. You're excited, hopefully. Let's dive in here with first the YouTube comment, Solitary. And again, more evidence to this general thing where I'm thinking that, hey, this thing's going to explode at some point. Does that make any sense? Like, what we've been building up to so far hasn't come to fruition yet. There's a lot of setup, even thematic setup, before something huge. It kind of has to, right? Otherwise, why are we telling this story, I guess? I don't know. I'm not frustrated. I'm just, I don't know. It's the anticipation. I want to get to the good shit and have my mind blown. Not that the stuff that I have seen thus far hasn't been good, it's just not quite at the top level stuff of Season 1. Which again, that only really manifested over time. I just gotta be patient. Either way, pencil sharp here with the solitary comment, controlling all trade to the north and east would speak to a recently, in China terms, unified Russia, expanding east past the Urals. I believe this quote that we're using is in reference to the twins, as I've affectionately called them. They had names last week that are escaping me now, which is pretty bad. Of course, they are Isla and Island. I needed to look that up and check. I knew that they were similar to each other. I think that that's the, prosperous trade partner that we're dealing with here. Would also, I think, kind of explain the blonde hair, blue eyes thing. Because if they're coming from that far, almost to like Europe, like pretty much Europe, then would make sense. Just them looking so different to everybody else in the show. I don't know. It makes sense to me anyway. But again, as always, you guys in the comments are way smarter about the geography, history stuff than I am regardless. I don't know. Russia unified, I guess, and they're a potential trade partner that the north and the east would be. It's huge. It's a huge landmass, Russia. I don't know if I needed to tell you that, but it is. And again, that's why they think they're hot shit. I think. I don't know. Like, again, I'm like a history guy. The things that they're wearing and the things that the father was wearing, does that all match up? I don't know. Again, it's not my area of expertise. And I think that's enough qualifiers for one comment anyway. Let's shout out the Patreon, shall we? And so, as always, if you wanted to be that 1 week ahead, Patreon is your friend. It is linked in the description below. It is $6 a month. You get access to everything 1 week early. That's Land of the Lustrous, that's Sayonara, Zetsubou, Sensei at the moment, and it's the Apothecary Diaries. You also get double votes in polls. If and when a poll shows up, which I think maybe Apothecary Diaries is maybe looking like the soonest one, which is, yeah, that manga's going a little bit slower than I thought. It's good though, it's really, really good. But anyway, I should shout out my patrons, such as Mickey Babbers, AJ, Bananaram Hamadama-sama, Bisa, Capella, Chobo Ribby, Copley, Dapper Dwarf, Darky26, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Guanal, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Iwayuru, Yako Yavanen, Jacob R, Jummy Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Marco-san, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ron Led B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacult Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Yuki Ali, Zach, Shinshio Yoshi, Akumancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, and Nico Lane. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And yeah, we're diving in here to episode 6. What's happened just then? The whole Moon Fairy fiasco. Jinchi looking very stunning, very ravishing in his little dress there. So again, we kind of ego checked the twins. That was fun. They were getting a little bit too uppity. And now I think we're focusing in on Mao Mao a little bit more, with her being discovered, I guess. This whole setup in general came pretty quickly. It's like, Mao Mao, you're not allowed to practice medicine at all. We make an exception for you. And then somebody that, would have a chip on their shoulder about that found out, and now Mao Mao's going to get into trouble. The clinic, I believe, was the establishment there. But also, I think we're going into something with the Crystal Pavilion too, if the episode title is to be believed, so we will see. I don't know. Lots of stuff there to dive into. And yeah, maybe focusing up on something larger by the end of this 2 episode session. We will say that, again, I'm feeling something is coming. Something rather large is approaching. I'm not sure what it is. And again, just reiterating them because I want to be smart and right when they do come to fruition, because they will. There's going to be some kind of infection/pandemic subplot within the rear palace, I feel. Gyokyo's being targeted and or Ling Li. That's bad. Or the new kid. Like, lots of... I feel like something bad's going to happen there. And the Xiaolan thing and learning stuff and that connection to the north side of the rear palace, and I don't know, something that's cooking away too. It's clearly going somewhere. And with all that being said, I think I'm just going to jump in here to episode 6. Probably going to record both of my episodes back to back and return probably later tonight for a little bit of analysis. But we will see. Just going to go bring up episode 6 right now. Why not? Rightio. I have episode 6 up there ready to go. 24 minutes flat on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the Crunchyroll version. Should be similar to whatever's on Crunchyroll, that official version there within. Either way, there will be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Now let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio. 3, 2, 1. Go. And we're back. She's always hidden that pose. And I talk about it quite often, character design-wise. Huge eyes. Huge. Look at him. That's some anime-ass anime eyes. And who else has eyes that big? Probably like Lao Lan. I've compared those two a lot. I'm still waiting for her to do something as well, for the record. So yeah, we saw the old lady from Vertigo's house there in the opening, and that kind of painting being uncovered from Old Mate. So that indicates that Moon Fairy storyline. So then probably what's next was what was ever next in the sequence, which it looked like a bunch of paper flowers or something. And somebody shrinking away from them and hiding. I do like that sequence there. That's quite stunning with all the consorts. Mm-hmm. Okay, show me something. Oh yeah, this is the lady. I forget if she had a name. Yeah. She fucking caught my ass. Well, probably not really big ones. Okay. I thought that you were just going to rat her out. Oh, no, this could connect into the Crystal Pavilion. Infa? Okay. Because she could be working for them, is my point. The old lady. Bring in the muscle. Shenru. Or Shenlu. I don't know, is she? Tough mother hen. Oh, okay. Precious. Hmm? Now that doesn't give a shit at all. At least hear her out. Okay, I'm interested here. Mm-hmm. Is she still with us? I hope so. We already don't like that head lady in waiting. Interesting. I don't know, does she? Of course. Little lizard. Just like a cat. I let my feline instincts take over. What? You just took its tail? You're insane. Okay. Oh! I remember hearing the coughing. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, she's about to fucking die. She's about to give everybody some kind of infectious disease. I'm off this Shin person. She's got a deeper voice than me. Oh, interesting. Who's that next to you? He's so pathetic. Ooh. I'm gonna use your name to get into places. Mm-hmm. Cool, cool, cool. What? Whoa! Look at this lore. Did you use your super hearing or something? That's where we keep patient zero. Got your ass. She always fucking... She goes too crazy whenever she comes here, bro. Got your ass. Lock... Wait, I thought he was locking him in. Okay, never mind. Got your ass. It's time to go to work. I thought she was going to king hit him. Is just the... Is it not... Are you going to be sanitary in there, Mau Mau? Normally you quarantine them and then treat them as well. Ooh. It's the social class element. Obviously, yeah. That's what we're reflecting in the plot. Wait, was she here last time too? Now that's an interesting one too. Got your ass. Okay, so yeah, she was the one with the... Yeah, all, the whole time. She was about to drink that shit. I think she already has. I think. It seems pretty close to a bullseye, yeah. Now the question is it intended for Gyokyo or is it intended for somebody else? Makeup again? For sure. Thanks, bro. Yeah, again. Hope you didn't catch anything, Mau Mau. Come on now. Okay. Okay. Well, because she's... There you go. Cousin. I was going to say she's important too. Interesting. Well... That should probably... It should probably be a crime. There's some Ace Attorney type shit. Is that even a gotcha? Kind of feels like one, maybe. Okay, yeah, well, that's pretty definitive. I know. Has very well directed sequence. Ooh, the scratch too. Oh, no. You shouldn't have slapped her. Jinji's not going to like that either. Yeah, obviously, you're probably caught between a rock and a hard place here. I love being smart, bro. Alright, she's crashing out. Holy voice acting, too. I mean, maybe that was the tiebreaker. Mmm. Fruit. Gao Shun. Gotcha, I guess. Sure. Alright, I say put her down like Old Yeller. Yes. Let's go. Later. I'll go again. I'll go again. Alright. That was all very cordial. We just fucking got her ass. Bye bye. For the face. No. Is there something with there was a little insignia there or something? Was that anything? What's the bush? Okay. Explain yourself? Oh. Sure. Oh, okay. You know lots of stuff. I mean, it's worth a shot. Yeah. Well, that'll just Sure, right? There is a larger shadowier presence at work? Oh, hello. Who the hell are you? She kicked the bucket. Okay, now she's fine. Okay, that's nice. Was she a significant other of sorts? Okay, that was really fun. Felt very quick, though. It's a tall glass, Mr. Emperor. What's bro thinking about? He was thinking about something. What was that? And then an intriguing house in the woods that looked like the north side again. That all came together quite well. Pretty much how I drew it up. I guess the only real wrinkle there at the very end was, well, who told Shin that information, right? I mean, did she learn in the caravan? Then you could maybe blame a Eileen Isla type situation. That, or are we winking and nudging towards a Sure type thing again? Um, again, Eileen Isla would have the motivation behind abortions and preventing pregnancies and that kind of thing, right? So I don't know. I don't know where we're going there. I thought, again, the twist, supposedly, that, again, she was targeting Li Fa, was pretty well telegraphed. If you watch that first scene where we see those two characters for the first time this season, I feel like you could see that pretty squarely. Covert Mau Mau was fun. She was talking her shit, but she let Li Fa doing the slapping this time. That's nice character development. All around, just really good. Really good episode. That confrontation sequence is directed quite well as well. Like the focus on like Mama overstepping the line there. Thought that was quite good. Okay, Jinchi aura farming. What else? Old man, Emperor. Okay. Get a load of this guy. Alright, shit, it seems like Mao Mao is going to get hired by the Emperor to do something. And we don't have to wait long. I'm going to jump right into episode 7, I think it is. Rightio, episode 7, up there ready to go. 24 minutes flat once again. Yeah, same stuff as last time, picture in picture. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio, 3, 2, 1, go. I believe this is going to be one of the first times that we're actually going to have a pretty general chat with the Emperor and get like a vibe of what he's about. We have seen a conversation in the past between him and Jinchi, which he seems very official and professional. That and he likes beautiful women, which I mean, so do I, so doesn't really, you know, it's not a unique identifier is the point. What about this damn cat? Is this cat gonna come back? And Shrine of Choosing is interesting. Maybe that's what this door stuff is about too, visually in the opening. Yeah, sure. Ball? Flashback. Jinchi? Zombie? What the hell is happening? I don't know either. Hey, yo. Finally, gold. Okay. I really loved that sequence, and I'm intrigued. And I'll need to study up on my Jinchi stuff again. He's cool. Okay. She already has. Yeah, okay. So they're doing the recap here for me, which is nice. Yeah. And then do we make the decision there to, you know, perpetuate the lie and whatnot? Okay. You're being weird, Jinchi. Creature. Takes time. How about the food part? She said put food in there. That's nice. Stay awake now. Come on. Mao Mao is being a bit of a creep. She is very sneaky. Interesting. Okay. Some kind of shrine of choosing. Okay. Okay. I would agree. It's in the north side, which is kind of dilapidated. Interesting. We don't need any more quirky doctors. Oh. Fucking besties from way back. That's great. Thanks. Bro, that kid keeps growing up, eh? Okay, that's specific. There he is. Same old guy. Wait, you get to try as many times as possible? Yeah, but I'm a servant. I'm not them. Okay. If the Emperor's okay with it, it's chill. Green door. Put it all on green. The house on green. Bro's playing Blueprint. What the hell? Well, he's already failed, because green was obviously the answer. Now, very obviously, mate, it's not green. No, 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 no. Can't be green here. He's throwing. That was a cool shot. Switch on, detective. Purple. Trying to fake him out. Interesting. What would it take for me to accept castration? I don't know. Hopelessly devoted. Elaborate. Oh, he's a tricky guy. Now, my question is, there something here about Mao Mao? She used to just call him father. Calling him adoptive father now? Is that a difference? Explain. Elaborate, please. What? Okay, only if you start spitting facts. Okay. I don't know, but I figured it out. No, but somebody vouch for me. Oh. We do a little bit of trolling. Oh, no! A little bit. He's having a bit of fun. He's yucking it up. Okay. Okay. Oh, and the eye thing is hereditary, I guess? Red Gang colorblind. Yo. I'm locked in. Oh! That's a beautiful wide shot. Thank you very much. Okay, that seems chill. It's the eyes, bro. Everyone's trolling this episode. Oh, Monogatari. Now, I thought I was colorblind, but they're crazy colorblind. I'm not that bad, though. I have a lot of trouble with purples and blues. Oh, okay, sure, yeah. They could just assume, bro. Interesting. Damn. Well, if it's at least 10 rooms, then yeah, the probability is quite low. What do you say that the. You say that the royal family is hiding the truth. Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, yeah. That's what I was going to say. What do you mean by blood too thick? I would have. She's pretty smart. I don't know. Hmm? I think he's trolling again. Why did she look into the camera? A lot of hiding of Jinshi in that scene. Jinshi, what do you mean by that? You saw it. Okay, so now you're thinking about it again. Like the moon there, too. He's the moon fairy, of course. Mau Mau, you already figured it out, buddy. You figured it out last season. I feel like that's an episode. I loved it, by the way. I thought it was great. I feel like it's an episode that shines on a rewatch. I feel like you watch that episode and you're like, oh, everything now makes sense. Gotcha. A lot of prophecy to it, and a lot of like projecting ahead stuff too, in my opinion. The puzzle itself was pretty fun, pretty simple, just kind of a colorblind check. I'll need to reread all this kind of, you know, the whole tale there with the mother and whatnot. Conversely, well, not conversely. Similarly, I'll need to kind of revise all my Jinchi stuff again. What actually happened there? What's the lie? What's the truth? That kind of shit. Because there's kind of three storylines going on. There's the truth. There's the wink, wink, nudge, nudge truth that he's still important, but not the truth. And then there's the lie, which is the eunuch stuff. If only there was some kind of scene where Mau Mau's going to find out he's not a eunuch, potentially involving a penis. We're going to have to see. Okay. What's next time? Cabedon. Oh. Intrigue. And yeah, as previously stated, I think I'll return later tonight. And I'll talk to you some more about those episodes. But I thought they were swell. I had a great time. So I'll see you again shortly. And we're back. It's the next day. Episodes 6 and 7 in the books. I've got a new bed. So, bed jump scare. There's change. Change is scary. But yeah, let's focus on the episodes. Yeah, I was meant to record last night. It didn't happen. Did not happen. Anyway, I thought they were quite good. I forget how self-contained this show is. Again, it's in the title, Apothecary Diaries. Each episode, each chapter in the manga, you would imagine, or a couple of chapters, I don't know how that works, is kind of like a big event in a diary. Not everything's going to serialize into a story all the time. It turns out that it's a bunch of self-contained little stories that then spin off into something bigger eventually, kind of placing a piece here and there about general things that will lead up to a larger conflict at the end of an arc, maybe. Yeah, I keep forgetting that's the structure. So with this episode we have up here at the moment, episode 6, I was thinking, again, all of that kind of Lady Lifa, Crystal Pavilion stuff would lead into something larger. No, it seems pretty nipped in the bud, which is good. I'm happy that everybody's safe and stuff, and that we've solved, for lack of a better term, that situation. But again, I was just confused. I thought it was going to be something larger, but it was not. It was a contrast yesterday as well when I recorded. Episode 6, I was fully on board with. I was like, okay, I understand every single aspect about this, what it's going for. Really well made episode, as we'll go into here in a moment. But episode 7, on the other end of the spectrum, was something that I didn't understand immediately and probably need to read up a little bit more on. Again, that's why I do this segment, to reread and kind of think ahead and whatnot, especially that dream sequence in the beginning. Again, I know broad stuff. It is Jinchi thinking about the moment where he learned about, his true origins and all that nonsense, right? And again, how his relationship with the Emperor kind of runs into that as well. Think about it from your perspective if you have a brother or something, right? Imagine if you thought that your brother was your father for like a really, really long time. That would fuck with you, no? Again, like so much patriarchal stuff whereby the father is like, his word is law, follow him to the nth degree, all this other stuff, as opposed to a brother who's on equal playing field. But if I've already internalized the other stuff, then am I actually able to have a real relationship with my brother, a real kind of sibling relationship there? Or is it forever tainted? Do I forever respect him too much? That's a deeper conversation, again, for episode 7 and for Jinchi and the Emperor overall. I was surprised not to see Isla Eileen again. I thought that, again, they were the major thing this arc, but they'll come back. Yeah. Again, I think towards the end of this episode as well, we're kind of hinting towards a little bit of that stuff too. I just noticed that the scratch gave her whiskers. That's fantastic. That's 10 out of 10. No notes. That's just brilliant. But yeah, let's go back to the beginning here and we'll run back through. But I guess kind of solving the question that I had at the start of this session, which is like, okay, can I see the momentum towards something larger? After episode 7 in particular, I can. And again, it's this large Jinchi story. Jinchi's going to be the focus. Again, if the opening wasn't, obvious proof of that. Oh my god, this was so long ago. I remember having these theories going into this episode where I was thinking that we're going to do like a Mao Mao, like, exposed story where somebody's going to learn that she's been practicing medicine when she's not supposed to be, and then there was going to be like a big gender roles discussion about everything. That didn't eventuate. And in retrospect, I'm happy that the show didn't go down such a rote storyline. I think that would be a little bit too on the nose, too obvious for the show's themes. Instead, we step away from that and do something, in my opinion, more interesting. So I'm happy about this development. A couple really nice touches early in this conversation. Let's see if I can bring it up. This loving look from Gyokyo. Is loving the right word? Maybe. Caring. Gracious. I don't know, just like noticing that Ailan here is kind of nervous about speaking and saying what, the other lady said and all that other kind of stuff. Fear of speaking out of turn, in kind of context with her place in the system. But again, the approval here from Gyokyo, which is nice. I don't know, genuinely cares about the people around her. Then I like this from Gyokyo as well. What's her face? What's her name again? Is this Yingfa? Yingfa? Anyway, getting her instead of Ailan. Now, this shows an understanding of the personalities of the people around her. You seem really nice and gentle and nervous and all these other kind of things, right? But you're not the muscle, you're not the bodyguard, you're not openly aggressive enough to, escort Mao Mao somewhere that's potentially dangerous, I guess. So, okay, you've done your part here, right? I'm going to bring in somebody that's a little bit more suited for this role. It's just good people management from Gyokyo, in my opinion. And again, something I'm only noticing on the rewatch. It's fantastic stuff. And again, put it this way, I wouldn't bring you along if we needed to do like, I don't know, a traditional like ceremony or something, right? Or something where formality is super important and, you know, modesty and whatnot. You're a little bit too fiery for that. That's not your personality type. In that case, bring Ailan along. I think that's better. Just the right person, right job, right time. It's really good. Yeah, so Shen Lu, I believe your name is. We've summoned Mao Mao. Let's just get the, you know, formalities out of the way. The storyline. There's a lady in waiting from the Crystal Pavilion. She showed symptoms of an infectious disease in the wake of the caravan, which probably isn't great. Again, that's trademark, like, you know, we should worry about this and quarantine you type idea, right? And I haven't had any follow-up on that, and I haven't seen her again despite asking her to come to the clinic. That's odd. Hey, Mao Mao, could you go investigate and have a look, considering you've already proved your knowledge around medicines and whatnot? And again, it's funny that you don't even know the context around Mao Mao and the Crystal Pavilion as well, which would have further informed you to make this decision. Yeah, again, nice stuff. And again, I misread your character. I thought that you were going to be a little bit scornful and, you know, chastise Mao Mao and take her out based on the things that you couldn't do. I saw, again, that's a stupid storyline. I'm happy we did something else. And immediately it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize that you worked for Gyokyo. Apologies for my tone. Can you help me out with this thing? And again, here's the evidence for what I was saying before. Again, explaining the obvious, being aggressive for Mao Mao, despite Mao Mao saying, it's fine, I'm cool here. I think she's cool too. Good people reader is Mao Mao. The context here as well is that Mao Mao knows the politics of the Crystal Pavilion as well. Say that you're sick and you need to go to the clinic and have something looked at a little bit more. You have to go to Shin, not Lifa, right? Well, Lifa's, we know her, she's nice and caring and stuff. At least, you know, after the developments in season 1 she is. Again, we know that you're like cold and fucked. We don't want to go to her, basically. So again, I know additional context plus what Shen Lu is saying here. I can put that together a little bit more. Now it's time to, I guess, continue to flag this thing more and more and more. So, in episode 6, the one we're watching, we're bringing up an infectious disease from outside of the area, right? Where everybody around may not have the same level of immunity as everybody else, right? Is that not like kind of like a pandemic type storyline? At least a little bit. And then the next episode actually name checks, I think, an epidemic or pandemic, I don't know what the difference is there, that took out previous emperors. Like, we're continuing to bring this thing up is my broad thought. This spells trouble. I'm going to keep saying it. I feel like the show's bringing it up a lot. Chat, thoughts on this scene where she grabs a lizard's tail and just the tail and then something about something growing back? Because I can't see that thematically tying into anything else in the episode, in my opinion, but I could just be stupid. It seems like a really out-of-place scene, despite it being quite cute and a little bit more of this kind of cat stuff that she has going on. There's a word for it. She acts like a cat. This is a really fun connective moment for me in the episode as well. This kind of box over here and a coughing lady. I'm like instantly putting everything together. Okay, what was in the box? The perfumes and oils and stuff. The stuff that was said to have, you know, what would you say, abortive kind of side effects? I don't know what you'd call it. Listen, the bad stuff is in this box, and we heard a lady coughing before, and now we put that together with Shin, because this is the lady that was coughing, and then Shin denied it, and blah, blah. We instantly put everything together is the point. And yeah, seems like it's going pretty bad. Coughing up blood. It's no good. And again, even more evidence, straight after that scene, we get introduced to Shin again, who is dominant, right? She... Listen, I don't know how quite the kind of structure works here, the, chain of command. But I wouldn't imagine that a head lady in waiting is that much more above normal ladies in waiting, right? A little bit. Still their boss, but not like, their master or anything, I wouldn't say, right? Not to the level of the consort, right? Not to the level of Gyokyo over her ladies-in-waiting, I wouldn't say. But you sure seem to be acting that way. I wonder if there's something in your past that may, you know, be evidence for this personality, evidence of this superiority complex. Maybe something there. Now, this is a little bit selfish from me, but I would have preferred to completely hide Mao Mao's face from the beginning. We try to, but I think that she's just too recognizable, especially height-wise. I would have brought the camera in here and really only focused on the Doctor and really only get your shoulder in view or something, right? Would have made that reveal when this character actually is Mao Mao a little bit more hard-hitting, I guess. I guess it's a framing thing. We don't want to place the audience in the same view as Shin. We want to place this in the same view as Mao Mao. I don't know. I feel like the reveal there fell a little bit flat because of what they did. I don't know. I don't know if that's something you need fixing, though, per se. And it is very cool how she's just, you know, working the angles, working the Doctor over, whispering and all that kind of stuff. I do like how this show doesn't forget as well. We have the Quack Doctor here. Some of the ladies-in-waiting comment that, you know, he's not welcome here. He didn't help with the first case in the Crystal Pavilion. They have a long memory about what happened with Lifa last time he was involved. So we bring in the big guns. We use Jinchi's signature as a kind of way to get in. Again, just using everything to our advantage that we have access to. In retrospect, a lot of this dialogue here from Shin is pretty pointed too. Lady Lifa is a noble from the Imperial lineage as well. The staff here, the ladies-in-waiting, deserve to be in the service of the Emperor. Again, you think that they should be subservient to you and that you should be the Empress. That is that is your motivation. And again, if it wasn't obvious, we get this flash here very early in the episode as well. Like, you can instantly tell character design stuff too. That's actually really nice. Kind of aging down the characters, but you can still obviously tell who is who. Now, see, I thought it was going to be, like a sister angle, but it turned out to be cousins. Again, much for muchness, really. I'm still a little bit confused around the whole bush thing. Something about the seeds or the flowers or something can be made into an abortive drug as well, but it seems like Shin doesn't know that purpose to it. So who planted this bush here? It's a bit of a weird one. Because Shin's like, was that garden bush always there? It's like, well, it goes to show that she doesn't have much knowledge of it, right? That's what that would indicate to me. That's odd. I don't know. Either way, Mao Mao hears the coughing, which is kind of like this nice cat connection too, in my view. Even though hearing's a little bit more of a dog thing. And then, yeah, Mao Mao's putting everything together. You're wearing perfume today, Shin-sama, and then reveals that I was the same girl that was smelling you before. Pause. This comes later in the episode, but Mao Mao in the here and now has made the connection that she wasn't wearing perfume before and is wearing perfume now. That shows that after the decree came into place that you weren't supposed to be wearing the perfumes because of their abortive qualities, you were still wearing them, so that you're sus. You weren't doing it before, and now you're doing it now after you learn about that, potentially. Weird stuff. You're sus, and then you're putting everything together. And then, yeah, it comes to a head. We tell the Doctor to run off and look in the shed while Mao Mao holds Shin still, which of course Shin's going to have a bit of a complex about. The whole, you're not a noble, you're touching me, I think I'm superior type story that she has going on. And yeah, the sick person's in here. Now, a twist in the episode I really like is the true purpose of the sick person in the shed, right? I wasn't meaning to hide the sick person per se. The sick person was meaning to hide every other scheme I had going on. I think that's a cool kind of difference, right? And something that I didn't see coming. Shin here is appropriately cold even after being discovered. Basically, I don't know what the word is. Like, she's trying to play it very nonchalant to the point where it's like, yeah, this is normal. This is what normally should happen. She tries to keep a cool head very early before getting a little bit rattled as the episode goes on. In that way, it reminded me of a lot of something like an Ace Attorney, right? Where somebody will come in and they think that their plan is foolproof, and then we picket it and picket it and picket it, and then over time they get angrier and angrier. I don't know, just that kind of almost Schadenfreude at that kind of situation. I think that's really fun. I feel like this stuff's a little bit on the nose, where Mao Mao's like, I was here before, and Lady Lifa was bedridden, and people were being, you know, what's the word? Ignorant? They weren't treating her properly, and she was going to die. this servant girl here reminds me of that same situation. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I know. That's what you're trying to say. I think the fun connection here is that the incense was trying to hide the smell of the sick. This one's the opposite. Again, the sick person trying to hide the incense and the oils and the smells and stuff. And yeah, Mau Mau finds the box of goods instantly, and let's go into questioning. Oh, that's why we make the comment early in the episode about how tall she is. She was wearing these clog-looking numbers. I don't know what those are. But again, that's why we didn't recognize her instantly, because like that height difference between her and the quack doctor. Yeah, okay, that's making a lot of sense now. There's also very obvious stuff: washing off the makeup, washing off the disguise. Okay, time to lock in, time to be my true self again, and not this fake persona that I've used to infiltrate the Crystal Pavilion. I do like her wearing the clothes of the Crystal Pavilion as well. There's also some really nice framing stuff in this kind of interrogation scene where we're all on this side and you're on the other side, right? Again, I don't think that you are knowledgeable of the connection between Lifa and Mau Mau, right? That potentially she trusts Mau Mau more than you, despite the blood connection. I think that goes to kind of attach itself in with the uniform stuff as well. You're welcome to wear these clothes. You've been in my service before. All these other things. Oh, that's another really telling line. So, Jinchi's important. We know that Jinchi's important. Shin maintains her silence even after being questioned by Jinchi, which goes to show that you have a big chip on your shoulder and your lineage is like, you think that you're on the same level as Jinchi or even bigger, right? You don't answer to him the same way that everybody else does. And again, Mau Mau's, the gears are turning into her head. She can put all this stuff together. Also, is this a subtextual thing? I don't know if subtextual is the right word. Here versus here. And that's why you were chosen and she wasn't? I feel like that's a little bit funny. Just a little bit. And yeah, Shin here trying to turn the tables immediately. It's not illegal of a person of my position to put a lady in waiting in quarantine and treat her like that. That's not the illegal part. It should be, but it's not. And I don't know about the perfumes. The illegal part is you. You're not of noble birth, and you're in here touching me and barging in and stuff. How dare you, Mau Mau? Again, blissfully unaware of the connection that Mau Mau has to the Crystal Pavilion. There's also this connection, obviously, in the episode of the last time you were here in the Crystal Pavilion and people were being deceitful. You got quite angry. You don't want to overstep the bounds this time. I like that kind of accompanied with this kind of stepping motion here, right here. Like, and again, you know the context. This is what I mean when this scene's really well directed. It's like, okay, I don't want to overstep, but still oversteps. You're watching. You're like, okay, I kind of remember this. I kind of remember what Mau Mau was like, the stories that were told to me about what she did, how it was ultimately helpful for me, how she'll do that to anybody regardless of status or lineage. Just a lot said with a little, I think, in this sequence. Again, that reverse shot's fantastic. So much context and subtext, like, kind of between these two looks, in my opinion. Again, the tension rising, Shin right here, Mau Mau overstepping once again, right into her kind of area, I guess you would say, reaching forward to touch her, right there, bang, impact on the ground. I know that she's trouble, don't touch me, the slap away, and the scratch. And yeah, as I said before, giving her kind of cat whiskers too. And then, yeah, we get into the Lifa character development stuff, right? She's been a pretty passive character up to now. She was kind of leaving everything to her ladies in waiting and leaving her future to that as well. And I don't like, yeah, especially after the depressive kind of, mood that she was in, after everything that happened. It's only fair enough, but it shows that she's come out on the other side and she's a stronger person because of it, right? She's progressed. Because now she's taking over her own investigation, right? Despite the family connection, I can see that Mau Mau is speaking the truth. I want to investigate myself, moving into the position of Mau Mau in that previous episode and being the one that gives out the slap. Even a punch, potentially. The one that's handing out the punishments. Again, all these things that would be befitting of an empress, right? Of somebody that's, stepping up into leadership, I would say. And again, is way more honorable in doing so as well, is doing it out in the open in front of everybody, as opposed to Shin, who's very secretive and, espionage and trying to plan, this attempt, per se, as opposed to, saying what she means. Leaders are out in the open. Leaders don't hide secrets, and that's kind of what Leafa's kind of channeling here in her development, which I like. And I guess here's the other reveal, even though I kind of predicted it already. Shin's target was actually Leafa the entire time. Oh my god, it wasn't Gyokyo, which I guess was the thing that everybody else was assuming. And then it all comes to the fore, the jealousy of Shin, the decision there within. Again, there's the motivation. That's who I was targeting the entire time. We wanted to investigate this one sick person. It turned into this larger story about essentially an assassination attempt. But I do like this touch here as well. Still obviously care here, right? We didn't know which one of us until the last second would actually become the concubine, right? You don't think I'm befitting of being the Empress Dowager. You think that you were more fitting instead. Again, you were more... what's the word? You were more dutiful in your studies and more official and that kind of stuff. And again, you kind of had this kind of jealousy thing going on because of it, right? Why was she chosen and not I? I'm clearly better. Getting very prideful about that. Again, that's the motivation. But again, this kind of scene in its development shows that Leafa is growing into the type of person that you could never be, right? Even though coming from a low base, not being quite the, rigid and organized kind of Empress Dowager type that you would expect, I've still got this caring side, I've still got this other side, and I can build upon the kind of official leadership side as I progress. And again, showing that leadership development through the scene. And then, crashing out, and again, that kind of caress on the face turning into a slap. And I think the build-up of Shin's unraveling here is quite nice as well. Still a lot of, I'm superior stuff in her dialogue, don't touch me, unhand me, you filthy eunuch, when it's based Gao Shun. Come on now. The GOAT. He can touch anybody he wants. Here's another fun piece of dialogue. Mao Mao calling out the fact that you love the status of the Empress, and again, your higher status than everybody else, your superiority, more than the actual love of the Emperor himself, which, again, is the tenet behind a lot of this stuff in the Rear Palace. It goes to show where your priorities lie and what you lack. You lack the loving side that Leafa does have, right? You think that one side of it takes precedence over everything else, I guess. And again, I'm emphasizing this a lot, this kind of character difference between these two, because I think, pronouncing it is what this kind of part of the story is trying to do. I feel like that's the major point here, and the major point of development for Leafa, as opposed to you. What she has that you lack. And again, here's the difference, right? In the past, again, Leafa's been good at the loving side, good at the, what's the word? Traditionally feminine aspects of being the concubines, I guess, of being somebody in power. You've been really good at that stuff. This is the development, right? I'm ready to bring the fuck smack. That's what she's been lacking. And again, now I'm better because I'm slapping away you. You almost represent this thing that I've lacked as well. And now I'm swatting you away, I don't know. It's like a loving slap almost. Yeah, and frame this. This is probably going to end up being the thumbnail. What a great frame. It's very, very good. And this is what I mean when this episode's pretty straightforward. That's basically the episode. There's not much else that kind of indicates forward. There's a little bit here at the very end, but you demonstrated your superiority over the person that had the superiority complex. That again, good episode. Really great episode, actually. Now, this I wanted to look at. Is there a little... I feel like I've seen this before in the show. Thoughts? This little handkerchief and this symbol. If somebody could remind me of that, I'd be very thankful. Because, I feel like that's very pointed. And again, Mao Mao, it's something Mao Mao is noticing. You can kind of tell with her expression here, where she's looking down at it. It's I don't know. You wouldn't put it there if it didn't have meaning, is my point. Is it an imperial type thing? Is it something that connects you to the Emperor more than it should? Again, noting that the cloth itself is fine silk. I don't know. Jinchi obviously feels some kind of way too because she scratched you up, and I care for Mao Mao, that side of it. Is this always here too? This is her little flower, right? In her hair? That's great. I love that. Yeah, we kind of talk about the flower again here. Listen. In Feng Shui, white and green are colors that are meaning to indicate good health. So, white and green, right? Somebody planted this here, knowing this person was here. Something that should make you better. I don't know how that works, because medicine exists. But anyway, and then Mama says it's ironic that this also had the power to induce an abortion. I think we're just being writerly and funny. This isn't evidence for anything. This is just, okay, despite this being, a nice kind of gesture for somebody that's healing from something, it was hiding this secret that was abortive, that had this other condition that was hidden. That is a microcosm of what is happening within the shed. Is that all this is meant to be? I think so. And again, the seeds themselves are harmless, much like the perfumes, unless you know how to use it. Is somebody imparting people with some knowledge of how to use these things to create abortion drugs? The idea would be connecting that to the caravan, in my opinion, and connecting that to Eileen and Ayla. Point being, they obviously have the motivation to want to prevent pregnancies in the rear palace, considering their motivations around the emperor, right? I don't know. That could be a motivation, I guess. It's either that, or in the episode, I believe I name-checked Isure as well, which would also have this knowledge base that Mamo has, right? So, like, I don't know. She could still be planning shit in the background. There's this nice scene at the very end. I guess it goes to finish off this kind of lady-in-waiting of the Crystal Pavilion type story. So there was a line of dialogue that I didn't include here in this segment whereby Shin said, or Mama implied that Shin has kind of brought in these ladies in waiting that kind of had a chip on their shoulder about Lifa, right? She's specifically brought in people from the very beginning that don't like her very much, kind of trying to bring in these people that have her worst interests in mind, considering Shin's true motivations. Shin's kind of giving off Grima Wormtongue a little bit, I think. Just kind of this advisor off to the side that kind of clearly has their superiors' worst interests in mind. So yeah, this is kind of concluding that. There are people genuinely here that care about other people, that care about Lifa. There are good people here in the Crystal Pavilion. I guess I should explain, you clearly knew about, or didn't know about the person. You were clearly friends with the person that was sick. You're bringing these over, again, the white and the green, symbol of good health. What happened to the girl in the shed? She's going to be better. She's being treated on Lifa's command as well. This goes to show this kind of, caring two-way relationship between these two parties, the ladies in waiting and the concubine. It's healthy. This is good progress, is the point. And again, great leadership skills by Lifa, right? She's paying the costs herself. It was her negligence that caused this to happen. I don't want this to happen again. I want to prove that I'm sorry. I want to make up for the mistakes of my head lady in waiting. Great stuff. Progress, right? And then, yeah, our kind of teaser for the next episode is the Emperor hanging out with Lifa. The Apothecary was here again. Kusaria, of course. And then the Emperor's thinking, she's solved shit here twice. And I know she's solving shit all over the place as well, because Jinshi talks about her as well. She may be useful. And then again, lo and behold, in the next episode, we bring her in for something that you're struggling with. I don't know, you'll generally see kind of at the start of this episode, or these episodes, there'll be some cut to something that's important, and then at the end of the episode, there'll be some kind of indicator of progress into the future. And yeah, that was meant to be the straightforward episode, and I ended up talking about it for a lot longer than I intended to. Anyway, I thought it was a really good episode in retrospect. I'm quite happy with what we did there. Okay, next up we have Dream Sequence from Jinshi, right? This is episode 7 now too. So Jinshi's playing with his ball. This is clearly the Shrine of Choosing or something to that effect as well, I think, in the background. Or maybe it isn't. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit. This guy here is the old emperor. Now, hang on. Let me take a step back. Okay, the baby swapping. Who were the two babies? There was Arduo. Arduo was having a kid, right? And then Luhrmann was involved as well. Luhrmann got kind of pulled off to a different pregnancy in the middle of Arduo's kind of giving birth, right? A different job because of status, right? Okay, guys, I'm super hazy on the details. Let's be real here. It's been quite a long time, and the story itself is quite convoluted. So, okay, when the emperor was the emperor, who was the previous emperor, not this emperor, he had a child with the Empress Dowager, right? Who was also very young at the time because the old emperor was a creep. Okay. That child was born on the same night that Jinshi was born from Arduo and this emperor, right? So this is where I'm getting confused. This is when they're telling Jinshi the lie. They told me that the man I always thought was my father was actually my brother. He is not my brother. He is my father, right? Which is weird. And I think this is where I was getting confused in the episode itself, where I thought that this was then fact. And then I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like, because then it's the whole, we swapped the babies. The baby that that lady with the honey killed was actually the Emperor's son. And Jinshi kind of survived instead. So it was a weird happenstance that Jinshi survived and that the Emperor's son did not. And again, the dream sequence back here is Jinshi's life getting kind of thrown on its head, right? So this old guy here is actually your grandfather. Actually. And the Empress Dowager, who's kind of been your mom the entire time, isn't your mom. Duo is your biological mom, but she couldn't ever be with her son. She kind of gave up that whole thing, and then she could never have another son. And then, okay, that's all making a little bit more sense now. And I guess this is the moment whereby Jinshi is learning all of this. And again, this is the Empress Dowager here as well, who is obviously conflicted about things considering her actual biological son is now dead because of honey incident. But does she know that? The next episode is called The Empress Dowager, so we're probably going to be diving into that whole thing a little bit more too. Needless to say, if there's somebody in the comments that could summarize things a little bit better and just get me right back on the same page, that'd be great. Because again, it has been a long time and it is very convoluted, even though the sequence is fantastically well done. Really like this nightmare type quality to it, really giving off kind of this vibe of this childhood dream that you can't quite remember. Like this memory that was scary at the time, but you didn't really know why. I learned the context at a later date. Yeah, family drama, me learning of family drama at such a young age, it's, confronting. It's given a great visual here, in my opinion, one of the highlights of the 2-episode chunk. And once again, I think I said this already as well, this is clearly where the plot is going very soon, in my opinion, is Mao Mao discovering this stuff. Even Jinshi says here in the dialogue that Mao Mao is probably going to discover it soon rather than later, considering her talents. Little does Jinshi know that she already has, but has chosen not to act on such information. I feel like Mao Mao needs to see undeniable proof of something. Of something within this sphere of this theory before acting on it, and then she's going to go, okay, the evidence is too overwhelming, or some other character will need to know that she knows, and then she'll be like, okay, I've known the entire time, something like that. I feel like that scene's coming soon. Again, needless to say, this will be expounded upon more. I don't know about the whole, I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and aura farm in the moonlight with my sword for a bit. I guess it's the same thing as me waking up in the middle of the night thinking about something, can't go back to sleep, and then fucking playing my Switch. It's the same vibe, I guess. He's just playing with these big old pointy Switch. Yeah, so Jinshi was practicing with the sword all night or something. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, okay. Again, do you know? Does Jinshi know? That's another thing, because why would he say what he said in internal dialogue if he didn't know? And no, he has to know, because he was crying when Arduo was leaving. So he knows, right? Right? I'm talking around in circles. Let's get on to the episode about the Shrine of Choosing. So, this episode buries the lead a little bit with this opening dialogue, which will then become crucially important to the plot. We talk of a lady from a distant land that came through and gave birth to the first ruler of this country. She became known as the Mother Royal. She had exceptional vision in the dark, which, again, Mao Mao hears in this story and then uses that to put a connection together later. I do think it's thematically rich that it's this story about a Mother Royal giving birth, this whole pregnancy kind of theme in this part of the story. I feel like that's coming together really well, helping it feel really cohesive. And Jinshi being a creeper, if they see your face, they'll become distracted from the learning. And yeah, through this sequence, we're also just cheering on Xiaolan, who's learning to read and write. You go, girl. You learn. Awesome. This is a great frame. Ready? Oh, you saw it for a second there. Where is she? That's great. Zoom in on that. That's good gear. That's great stuff. Look at you, very studious, asking the teacher extra questions too. That's how you get the most out of your education, people. Come on now. Mao Mao is fascinated from the shrine next door and kind of gets a bit of an introduction from this teacher eunuch guy. It turns out he's way more important than he's letting on by just being a teacher. He also keeps the Shrine of Choosing and has done for a very long time. Also maintains a connection, or don't know about maintains, but had a connection with Luoman, who's Mao Mao's adoptive father. That's why I want to bring something up. I'll try to notice it later, but I feel like Mao Mao in the past is just called Luoman her father, and obviously called Lacan not that. I feel like we've changed somewhat. You've come to accept the fact that Lacan is your father. You're no longer denying that anymore. You're kind of owning that. And now in that same vein, you're also calling Luoman your adoptive father. You're no longer hiding from the truth. You're accepting it. I feel like that's a change, but again, I could just be wrong there. And yeah, then we get some of the legend stuff. The one who rules this land must pass through that shrine. Again, I'll just spoil it now. It connects to colorblindness, and that colorblindness is somewhat hereditary. It is a failsafe that the Mother Royal put into this whole system, whereby the people in her family would always maintain power. The one who rules this land must pass through that shrine. It must either be a direct descendant of me that's male, that can be the Emperor, right? Or with the assistance of a... is it concubine the word we use? I don't know. Who would also be colorblind because of the lineage. So only colorblind people can get through here. I've kind of grandmothered that into the system. However, that shrine hasn't been used lately because the previous emperor's elder brothers all passed away from an epidemic. Again, there's that word again. I won't keep bringing it up. Only the previous emperor survived. That would be the old man from Jinchi's little dream there before. That'd be the previous emperor, the guy that was also a pedophile. Very, very cool. And again, this was the part that confused me. So why is it still not being used? In other words, there was no need to do a rite of passage to determine the heir, to determine somebody that still possessed this colorblind trait, because there was only one bloke left. Because there was only one bloke left that we could choose. I don't know, she's just cute. I just want to keep highlighting frames where she looks cute. Thank you, Zhao Lan. Thank you for writing something. You're so perfect. And then, yeah, very quickly in the episode, we kind of go to, okay, now... Oh, didn't mean to do that. We now go to what the Emperor wanted with Mao Mao from last episode. Much like last episode, this episode is also very self-contained to this Shrine of Choosing. It's mostly about figuring out the puzzle and what it all means and what was the purpose of it all, which again, it's just, you know, a way to ensure that my family remains in power, basically, from the Mother Royal. I think where we get thematically interesting is that the Mother Royal was foreign to begin with, so again, we have this thing about foreign blood and introducing that into the system, that we don't like that very much, but that was actually the origins of everything. In that same way, we're making an inference about Mao Mao and potentially a connection there to somebody else that's important, potentially, and not royal, not noble blood, I think. You're kind of a Mother Royal in your own way, in a weird way. That's kind of a connection I think we're making. We should also read this connection here as a little bit kind of father-son too. So you can kind of see what's happening here a little bit with kind of, you know, a little bit of context. So you kind of... you tease Jinchi about it a little bit. I feel like that's a lot of what we're doing too. I think we explained this away in the dialogue as well, because this was another confusing thing. I was like, so why can't the Emperor do it, right? He is descended from the previous guy, right? Who was also descended from the lady. Are you just not colorblind? It's not perfect every single time from a hereditary point of view. You don't inherit every single, you know, baby, if that makes any sense. Like, I think that's where we went into it with the concubine type thing. Like, okay, so if you can't do it, then have somebody with you that can, which will also ensure that the same blood is being used. But then maybe I thought it was a thing that skipped a generation, so then Jinchi would have it, but he clearly doesn't have it either. We just ran out of colorblind people, basically, which is weird. There's some really choice musical moments in this episode, too, especially when we're kind of unraveling a lot of stuff. Gave me, and I think this is insulting, so bear with me, gave me Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes, just a little bit, just with the musical use. I thought it was really quite nice. Just in the tone of the episode, kind of some of those really good kind of book 3 episodes where we're learning about the land and the past and stuff. Similar vibes. I'll skip you the pain of going through all those doors. Again, we know the gimmick now. I do like this as kind of a nondescript failure quote, I guess. You were a child of royalty, yet not child of the Mother Royal. Yeah, you don't carry the blood that the Mother Royal did, because colorblindness was inherited in her family. You must be somebody of import if you even got in here in the first place, but you're not, traditionally that important. You're not connected to that one person all the way back when. And again, I think the fun of the episode is also Mao Mao noticing Jinshi. Why is Jinshi so serious about this? Again, because he's involved. He's involved, and you don't want to admit that. Just great stuff. This guy's a little fucking cheeky cunt, too. He's like, your dad probably could have figured it out, as Mao Mao, immediately gets to work on figuring it out. Oh, you're just, the perfect thing to say to egg her on, right? And again, there's a larger connection there because Luhrmann is also from a foreign land, so again, maybe he was colorblind as well. That's the connection we're making there, but I don't know. It felt a little bit on the nose from old mate. Oh, I missed this. Okay, so the story itself focuses on the Mother Royal and not the father in that situation, right? But we have a paternal kind of succession system, right? You'd think it'd be a little bit more maternal, but it's male-dominated, patriarchal, right? So Mother Royal has kind of girl-bossed her way into making a system whereby her family remains in power. That's kind of the subtextual thing here too. And yeah, this guy clocks that Mao Mao figured it out. Again, the poor eyesight thing. He's then very, because Mao Mao's like, let me try again. And then it's like, well, you're not really... you don't really have the status to go in there. But you can go in with Jinshi. So, hey, Mao Mao, what does that mean if you can go in there with Jinshi, but you can't? Thoughts? Again, this is what I mean when it gets kind of convoluted and weird. Because again, you're his son, but only you two know that. And then there's one more level down, which is, okay, the people in the know now think that you're brothers. But the people that are that's not the truth even. There's layers to this, right? And then below that is the whole Jinshi thing, where Jinshi is taking the medicine and being in the rear palace and posing as a eunuch and doing all that stuff. That's, again, I'm just laying the land because it's confusing. Really like this wide shot as Mao Mao figures out the puzzle too. Just oh, this is what, the people of lineages long past would have seen, gazed upon the land that they are now the ruler over. Again, accompanied with the music. It's a fantastic moment. Yeah, this here's the hidden part that I didn't really take much note of. But, again, this is the failsafe. This is how we can ensure that, the Mother Royal's bloodline is maintained. So yeah, this whole thing comes together quite well upon the rewatch. The whole colorblindness thing, the seeing in the dark, the reasoning behind it, the reason why the Emperor couldn't do it, the epidemic's role in that's all making sense. Again, just struggling to clarify the Jinshi stuff. Oh, no, I was confused. Okay, since my dad studied abroad in the West, he would have known about this trait. So he's not from the West, he just studied abroad there, so he would know about the 1 in 10 thing. He could have figured out the color bullshit the same way that you did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's again, rereading all of this stuff, there is clearly this kind of maternal, I want to maintain my son's prosperity type theming to this, right? Which I missed the first time. I want to disregard that paternal system of choosing leadership, and this is my kind of puzzle way of ensuring that, and kind of, leaning on the religious kind of, inclinations of this land as well. Yeah, it's cool. I think that's the part of it that I missed. And then this part, the Emperor, are you saying that I don't carry the blood of the Royal Mother or the Mother Royal within me? And yeah, Mao Mao explains sometimes the trait is not passed on from parent to child. Bloodlines too thick can be a problem as well. Are you implying incestuous stuff? Or marrying our cousins type stuff made the previous Emperor's siblings all fell ill in the epidemic? Are you saying that because of a bloodline being too thick, the previous Emperor's siblings all fell ill? Is that the indication from the dialogue there? And then this guy playing chucklefuck as well. It said that the Mother Royal possessed superior intellect as well. If you're going to thin the bloodline even more, potentially bring in Mao Mao. And then the Emperor's like, nah, I like big tits, which, again, fair enough. But hey, Jinshi, considering, again, we know what's going on here. How about you? Which is fun. It's like a teasing thing, I think. Now, this is ominous too. There are many who do not favorably view the introduction of new blood. So maybe in the future, I don't know, watch out for that. If this is Gyokyo new blood, you know, I don't know. Yeah? Is Arduo new blood? I don't know. Again, just keeping it in mind, I guess. I do like the framing here in this scene whereby Jinchi is hidden for a lot of it, especially he's hidden for the part where this guy brings up you two dating. Like, he's hidden. He's probably looks horrified. That's probably part of the reason why the Emperor laughs as well. And yeah, ending the episode here, Mao Mao suspects that you aren't just the Emperor's favorite eunuch. What's going on here? But again, pulling herself back, choosing not to act on those hunches. Again, really love this shot of Jinchi and the moon. Must remember that connection to the moon, femininity, the mother, Arduo, those conversations in the moonlight. It's almost like she's constantly watching over him as well. Yeah, there's a lot there too. Like Jinchi moon, the moonlight falling on Junchi back in this scene too. Kind of bathing in the moonlight, woken up by the moonlight. Like, that's a big thematic thing for him. And yeah, ending the episode there by Mao Mao saying, I don't want anything to do with that shit. So that's where we're landing on that. Yeah. I need a refresher on that whole thing. I'm pretty sure I got there by the end. Who knows and who doesn't? I guess that's where I need clarification. Because the Empress Dowager knows, I think. Does the Emperor know? I think the Emperor knows. Weird. We're going to leave it there. Show's great, though. Really loved those 2 episodes. Keen for it all to come falling down, which I think is coming soon. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Patreon, if you want to be that 1 week ahead. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye. See you later.